still the best. 19 in a row. Camfella.
Battle to the wire. Anthony Chef wins the Simcoe Stakes.
He's big, he's strong, and he has got it going on. Top 25, Canada's horse. Sun Beach somewhere.
Yeah, motivated, I'm focused.
There, off Anthony Singh.
This is the moment. Gotta one up my opponent.
McWicked on the outside.
Gotta get it, the mindset. Gotta put it in motion.
You gotta be kidding me. PCI wins the million.
Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch. No hang time, man, they can't keep up. The game's on the line, seconds.
Lean back, get your picture taken.
Yes.
Crowning moment on Canadian soil for Bulldog Hanover.
Motivated, I'm focused.
A late push from Confederate. It's my show. Wins the big show.
This is the moment.
Hanover wasn't able to get to the lead or get close to it. We tried reaching out a bit to Tom McCarthy, and the coaches shouldn't have the best performance. Unfortunately, we didn't in the final.
Yeah, so there's the field and how it lined up. You have, of course, I got Dale Prince out, number service choice. What possibilities for us to try and enhance the final blueprint. Romberg just been on some kind of vehicle.
Oh, big time. Obviously, look back at some of those marquee stakes events from last weekend, wins yesterday, and obviously
capping a little more challenging, doesn't it?
Yeah, big time it does. I think when you know that horses want to get a big spot or put a big effort, getting to the final, you know that they're going to be on go early on.
Yeah, definitely. So here's a look at what we've got in the opener. Down to a field of 9, a pretty significant scratch of Just Bank because she's been a player in her last couple. Florida guy getting bed down right now. I know you showed the replay from September the 2nd, which was a good one. What do you think of the follow-up effort?
I just think of, more bad confidence for this guy. I think you can kind of excuse that effort. I think there's a big scratch in here from the rail start of Just Bank. She's one that you have to figure was going to be a big-time player here, the one to beat, especially with a couple of big track titles under her belt. But I'm going to go back to Florida guy here in this spot. One that I used on top, even with the scratch of Just Bank. I think that if this guy can work out a better trip, I'm going to give this guy another roll on top.
Yeah, what do you make of the early support of Hobnob Hanover? Now, albeit it would only be probably a very little
But this is one that he's going to be reacquainted with yet again, and he's coming to this race sharp. So he's got a big shot.
Yeah, this one gave the cover to that horse, didn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, over to race number 5 we go. Grassroots Division 1 of the night, leg 5 in the series for the Tyrrell Pacing fillies. We've got a full group of 10 in here. Romantic Beauty, the well-bred Bettor's Delight filly. She got back on track in the latest with a win in 51-4, very sharp. She's obviously one that you got to have a look at. The lightly raced Artistic Delight, pressure's kind of on her. She's going to get her second grassroots start here, which you need to get into, whether it's the consolation or the championship. But I thought she was decent in her first start, but she needs a big finish here tonight.
Big time, but I thought she raced pretty well last time out, though. I know 5th, but again, was moving forward, and you have to figure she's going to be even sharper here with another start under her belt.
Yeah, and you want to have a look back at Romantic Beauty. This was one that, I remember when she kicked off her career, super sharp. Then it didn't work out in the Battle of the Bells final. Then she's had a couple of efforts here and there that were okay, but that was real solid again last time out.
Big time, and we're going to see the pylon skimming score here from this Greg McNair trainee, a daughter of Bettor's Delight. But I want to focus on Annie's Diva here in this spot, who's got the 8-hole with James McDonald towards the back of the pack. And you could see this is a filly who James opts to take the inside route rather than fan route further outside, and he's going to try and make up some ground here in amongst horses. And you could see he's trying to see what kind of a seam he's got to work with. So he's going to split horses right now, and he's going to keep on moving forward with this filly. To the inside, you could see the 3-horse and Doug McNair, his charge, Romantic Beauty. She's continuing to move forward. She gets the job done. But I thought this Mike Kwitnowski trainee, she looked like she had some pace late in the mile, and one that I thought finished up strong was one that I was really intrigued with a few starts ago. Look, she was second to Lavender Sealster, was really sharp, and it has been a really sharp filly over her last few tries. I think Annie's Diva, again, she's had a couple of big track tighteners here, one that came from out east, and I think this one's sitting on a pretty big effort tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, when you break it down, she only has 2 big track experiences, right? And it's not the easiest of transitions, especially for one that was brought up on the small tracks. So Annie's Diva, you could be onto maybe a price horse to consider in here because, Doug's obviously going to get some play. I think some others are going to get attention. Annie's Diva, certainly looks like she should be a price in here.
Big time. She has to be a value player, I would have to say. But I know that Greg McNair trainee merits a lot of respect. She's got a favorable draw to work with. But look, Annie's Diva, we've seen it 2 different ways. She's left out of there with Trevor in the past. She took off the pace approach last time out. And this is one from an inside draw. I'm curious to see how Travis is going to try and navigate this filly in this spot.
All right, over to race number 6 we go. Back half of the card. Kicks off another pick 5 wager. Late one starts with Tyrrell Filly Trotters. Nominators of 1 or 8,000 a lifetime. How are you with trust issues? How you feeling with Calyx right now? I mean, she's made some breaks. We know she's got talent, but now they get the hobbles on, trying to straighten her out.
Yeah, and I thought that qualifying effort, I can't say it was a great one, but I think it was just a good experience. I think it was an experience mile for her, quite frankly, just to kind of get a feel for those hobbles. Chad, she got around the track cleanly. And I think if she trots, if she's in a really good spot, she's going to be tough. I think her talent could ultimately prevail in this spot. I'm going to opt to play against her, though. She's one I'm going to rank highly in this spot, though, Chad. But to your point, just haven't loved what I've seen from her over the last few tries. So I'm going to give a shot to this Meg Crone trainee. Lo and behold, you want to talk about a filly that's been in some tough spots. All she's done is racing golds. And now she's going to be in a maiden spot. Did I want to see a little bit more last time out, on the end of it? Maybe. But she was facing the likes of Flowing Tribute, Bingo Night. Obviously the top 2 fillies in our provincial program. So I think this is a great spot for Lo and Behold, who's put forth some good efforts in her young career this year to get win number 1.
Yeah, and a good spot for her to try and get that win and confidence ahead of what's likely to be the next gold test for her. I don't know the exact date of when it is, but I know Flowing Tribute is out preparing tomorrow in a qualifier just to stay sharp.
Yeah, big time. And, with Calyx, I'm really curious to see how she's going to be navigated from that 7-hole again with a couple of breaks. Are we going to see a more aggressive approach from Bob tonight? Does she feel a little bit better as he approaches the wings as well? But there's another filly in here, Chad, adding trotting hobbles as well. That's Sister Scarlet, one that I was intrigued with when she started off her career. She's made some miscues over her last few tries. I thought she got around nicely last time out. I don't know if she's ready to win tonight per se, but one that I'd be monitoring going forward.
Is this the sister to Paul's Foxy Amy?
I believe it
That's
is.
the one I think this is the mare it's out of, right?
Yep.
Highland Foxy Trotter, which is, again, from that Highland Kismet family, I think, along the lines there. So, yeah, Sister Scarlett, as you say, getting the equipment adjustment there tonight. So that's race number 6 to kick off the late pick 5. We turn the page to the 7th. Late pick 4 is underway with another division of the grassroots for the two-year-old Pacing Colts and Geldings, field of 9. And here, and illicit behavior. Man, he's fast for a piece.
He really is, yeah.
You know, he can really motor. We've seen him kind of, take that tactic into the last turn and sort of build himself up a lead. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tries that here tonight. But there's some others in here that have got some speed, too.
It looked like he was going to get the job done a couple of starts ago, but Dime Better came from a long, long way. But we've seen this tail many times, though, right? I mean, he'll open up an advantage, and then he'll get a little bit leg weary late. And, look to me on that replay that Bob was just trying to wrestle him to settle him down a little bit. And as he tried to wrestle him more, the faster he went. So, just seems like a tough colt to try and navigate, but the talent's there. It's if he can ration out that speed. But I think he definitely merits respect in here because it took a rival who, when we know is at his best and stays pacing, he's got wicked speed on the end of it, but he's not one that you can trust in particular here tonight.
All right, call sign Rooster who was inside, in off back-to-back runner finishes. The most recent you want to profile here, one where he got picked off again, this time by Major Money. What did you see in the effort overall?
The horse that I want to profile here in this spot is going to be the 6-horse Barracuda Hanover. This
Okay.
is one that, Randy, I believe, made a horse. Was it a horse to watch or one that caught his eye? And this is one that I'm going to highlight here in this spot. You could see him right now on the inside. He's 4th on the inside with Tyler Borth, and this one I would call a sneaky good effort as well. And you could see Tyler Borth is going to try to commit to an inside lane, but you'll see as they approach her home, he's going to be shut off from that inside. So he's going to have to take a hold of his charge and find a different route maybe. You could see right now he's committed to the inside lane. There's going to be no room whatsoever. So he takes a bit of a hold here right now. You could see him grab up on his charge, and he's got to pause, angle him out a little again, and he doesn't find a seam. He's going to be coming late in amongst rivals there. And you can see he's calling on him, and he's moving forward. One that I thought was a pretty good effort. I'm not sure if he's got the speed to maybe go with a horse like illicit behavior in this spot, but he might be able to work a trip where he follows him, whether that maybe tires him out a little bit. I have no idea, Chad, but this is one that's got a good draw to work with. I think we're going to see an aggressive approach from Tyler Borth here in this spot, especially with an effort like that. And I think he really merits a little bit of respect in here as well.
Yeah, but you're going to go to the outside, mega moves?
I'm going to try mega moves. I mean, again,
Yeah.
a horse who I think is in a better spot. If there is going to be some speed to chase here with a horse like illicit behavior, this guy's got some wheels on the end of it. I think those last 2 tries just a little bit too tough. Again, Nasagawa was too tough for him. Never really had a chance to get involved. And same with the Gold as well. I think this is really a group he's going to like, and you might get a little bit of inflated value, especially starting from the outside.
Yeah, I'm glad you showed that replay, too, because that refreshed my memory, because I remember calling that and thinking Barracuda Hanover kind of into that blind switch.
Yep.
It was live. And you'll see that sometimes with the Jack Darling horses. I know this horse won early on in his career, but it was in a Grand River overnight. But Jack's great at developing them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they'll just get better under his care. Control Rocks, comes to mind. Now all of a sudden he, put it together. And this could be a horse that's maybe just starting to, put it together late in the season.
A big time. And, his Grand River victory, who was a runner-up to him was All-Star Courts, who's, I think, rattled off a few consecutive wins since. And he's been a pretty sharp horse competing in some prospect tries as well. So I think a decent reference point there as well.
Okay, that's race number 7 on the card. Race number 8 as we move forward. We've got grassroots for the 2-year-old Pacing Fillies, another division here, and another full field of 10. Some that have tested some grand circuits, whether it be Eternal Cam Nation, Champlain in there, but now back into the Ontario Sire Stakes grassroots. There's Lavender Sealster. I thought she's had a solid campaign, but some others in here as well, including Chicanery, who returned home to be a winner. You got to respect her too.
Well, big time. She put forth a pretty good effort. Lavender Sealster again. I think a filly that merits a lot of respect here. I think this is a really wide open race, Chad. What do you do with No Better Air? I mean, she worked out a pretty good trip. She was scratched out of her most recent contest before that recent try. She probably could have gotten a bigger piece given the trip. But maybe she just needed that start as well. But she's got another outside draw to work with. She merits respect. But how about Could Be Queen? That was a filly who lacked some room late in the mile. I mean, James had an option. Do I go outside? Do I pop early? Do I kind of just wait for the head of the lane? He opted to wait and take a shot at the head of the lane, and he never found racetrack yet again. This is a filly, a drive that Doug McNair's going to pick up here in this spot. I think it's really live.
Yeah, and I wonder, too, about the savor the moment for Jeff Williams. I know she's got 10 starts this year. That's starting to get up there. But I've liked her last couple. And this is from the family of Moment is here, who was a super final winner and savor the moment. That wasn't a bad effort last time.
No, and some of, we've seen some Jeff Williams trainees, a couple of them maybe start off their young careers with a bang and start off pretty good early. Maybe not as sharp as they were early on, but this filly, I think, is starting to get better as the season, continues to progress. So definitely one that I think merits some respect in here too. And she's coming off a few good efforts as well.
Yeah, do we have a replay here?
I submitted one for Could Be Queen, but I'm not sure if that's the one we're going to highlight here in this. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Could Be Queen. I know my script is just saying a couple of, in back-to-back the same ones, but yeah, so I think we've got here, okay, Could Be Queen, who was dead heat in a third. You can see just sitting third heading into this final turn. What do you take from this?
Yeah, there was a lot of movement early on. You could see, obviously, it was, Paul McKenzie. He made an early bid with his charge as well, and James got away in a pretty good spot, one that I thought you could forgive in her most recent try in the Eternal Cam Nation. And you could see James right now, he's stuck behind a pair of rivals in here. He's trying to split inside. There's not a full seam to get the bike through. And he's going to try and angle out. And Louis Waugh is going to be to his outside as well here in this spot. So you could see as soon as he starts to angle her out, the race is already decided at this point. She's moving forward in that spot, and one that I think was going to be a big-time factor. She looked like she had lots of go, Chad, in that spot, was never really able to find a seam and kind of put it together. But one that has been racing really well, and she's got major rebound potential here in this spot.
Okay, all right, so one to consider there is Could Be Queen for Gallucci and McNair in this 8th race. One you're going to go with on top. Garnet Barnsdale's going to try chicanery. The others landing on Lavender Sealster. That's the 8th race for the 2-year-old Pacing fillies. The final grassroots of the night comes up in race number 9 for the 2-year-old Pacing Colts and Gelding, their 3rd division. We do have Dime Better, and I think you and I both feel that Dime Better is, could very well lead this whole division if he can mind his manners.
That's the biggest thing. And I think you could say the same for the rail starter going for broke, right? I mean, he looked like he was going to be a winner last time out.
Yep.
Just right. Approaching the final turn, he put in steps. Both of them I'm going to use in my pick 5 tickets because, again, we don't know if they're going to be able to stay pacing or not. If they do, they're going to be big-time factors. So those are two that merit a lot of respect. How about the effort from Cheese Dreams last time out, though, Chad? He looked like a handful there for driver James McDonald. And, obviously a couple horses broke. He found a seam late in the mile, and this was a horse that was charging forward. Just missed out, though, to Evans Legacy, who a horse got the job done, looked a little bit green in that September 5th try. I was really impressed with the way he fended off the Scott McNiven trainee.
And especially to do it on short rest.
Big time.
Right? He came back just a few days later. So, I mean, Evans Legacy, I know he's 10-1 in the morning line, but you got to give him some respect, right? This is one that he's probably getting stronger and now back on a regular rotation. He'll like that, too.
Yeah, and he's got a good draw to work with. And again, one that, when I got a chance to speak with Lyle, said he's fast, he's got some speed, he's just learning, right? And I think that these last 2 victories, if he can continue to progress, get a little bit better, I think this guy could be a pretty good one for him.
Yeah, Dime Better's fast, too.
Yeah, big time.
Man, he can move on the end of it. Now, the one break, 3 back, he gets a pass for that. Yeah, it was an equipment break, but then the latest one, he just had issues from the rail. So he'll be tough in here, I would have to think, if he can just kind of, stay pacing.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see, how he gets away off the car, how he looks out there in parade as well. But you're right, Chad. He's a main factor here, so long as he behaves.
All right, let's close it out with the pop-up series final in race number 10. 30 grand up for grabs for these mares. Blinded by Delight aims for the sweep. She's been strong. She got things her own way in the latest and was able to kick home. But James out of town, obviously in Delaware, he's not going to make it back in time. So Tyler Borth gets the call, and obviously he's picked up a live one in here. But will this change your approach, with her especially drawing an outside post?
You know what? It's not going to change my approach, but I won't go all in on her in this spot. I think she might have to work a little bit harder to make front. But Yoda Queen to her inside is really going to be a big game changer there as well, right? We didn't see her, leave out of there extremely hard to keep rolling onto the lead. It was a tough trip for Doug McNair having to go first over in that spot, but she's one that can definitely bounce back. We've seen how he's done with this mare, how he rates her and kind of allows her to sprint away, at the head of the lane. And she's going to be tough to catch if she's got the edge over Blinded by Delight. But, it looked like she was going to get collared for a second. I mean, a rival looked Blinded by Delight in the eye. As soon as they hit the head of the lane, she turned on the afterburners. This is a mare that's razor sharp right now and a great opportunity to pull off the sweep here.
Yeah, had you asked me to maybe predict who you were going to pick in here with the power on the outside, drawing those outside 3 posts, I'd have thought you would have gone back to Gentrify.
Yeah.
Didn't you try her last week?
I did try the last 2
Yeah.
weeks, but I just never know when she's going to be able to snap off
Yeah.
that gate. That's the biggest thing, right? She's got a good draw to work with, but she's not the quickest off the car, and I think that puts her in a bad spot ultimately.
At the right price, you could throw a few bucks on her, couldn't you?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's race number 10. Again, Jackpot High Five. You can play it tonight and tomorrow, and then we've got a mandatory payout slated for this Saturday. Really looking forward to that. Early pick 5 ticket from John Rallis. We know that he's going to kick it off here with a single right off the bat with Florida Guy, who is the favorite right now at 5-2. Take us through the rest of your ticket.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to go all in on Florida Guy, as we mentioned. I'm going to go too deep in the second. I think Little Pappy is one that I'm intrigued with because it's Louis' choice coming off that improved qualifying try. And better double down. I think she's the filly to beat in this spot. I think that last effort really indicates that she's inching closer to another victory. Race 3, though, I'm going to go Elmer Hanover on top, but I think Odds on Bullfrog and Ryder Ross is one that I'm intrigued with. Should be a 2-4-5. That was definitely I'm looking at the wrong race. My apologies. Race number 3.
I've done that.
Race number 3, I'm going to go 2-4-7. I think Sunday Shoes is going to be the one to beat. Garnet Barnsdale kind of alluded to it, that a couple of really good efforts with some poor post position draws. I think this is one, or some bad trips per se. I think this is one where maybe Doug gets aboard and kind of changes the racing style here on this guy, and he could be tough to beat if so. Race number 4, though, I'm going to go 3 deep. I think Elmer Hanover, one that merits a lot of respect in what's a softer spot, but I do want to use Odds on Bullfrog and Ryder Ross here in leg number 3. 2 of them that draw well and I think are coming into this race sharp. And race 5, I'm just going to use 2 deep. I'm pretty confident with Romantic Beauty that she's going to be a major player coming off that victory on September 8th. But I really like Annie's Diva in this spot. I think she's one that can make the sequence pay a little bit more if she gets the job done.
Okay, that's a look at John's early pick 5 ticket. What we've got coming up here very soon, once we get through our stakes action, the Breeders' Crown shortly after that, we are going to see a change to the schedule. So we'll go to 4 nights a week. I think our last Tuesday is around October 7th, if that's a Tuesday, something around there. But racing will then be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and that's effective November the 2nd. So we're deleting the Thursdays. The Sundays are going to be the new race day. 6:35, we'll keep the post time the same there as well. Early pick 5s, of course, guaranteed at $75,000, so that's what we've got coming up. Sunday, we can enjoy some Sunday night football along with some harness action here at Mohawk Park. This weekend, of course, the Mohawk Million. I think we're going to have Mother Nature cooperating. So come on out to the racetrack. There'll be a lot of great stuff here on track. But if for some reason you can't, you want to get some dedicated coverage, Game Plus, you're going to get some fantastic stuff there through Primetime Racing from 9:30 to 11 for extended coverage in there. I'm not sure exactly who's on there, but I would have to assume the likes of Greg Blanchard, Mark McKelvey, and perhaps others. So that'll be a great network program to take in. And then look at that wagering menu, $75,000 in the early pick 5, a pick 6 mandatory payouts, as John talked about, not in the usual 4th race. It's going to start in race number 5, but then the all stakes pick 5, the grade 1 all stakes pick 5, $100,000 guaranteed in there, starts in race 6, late pick 5 in the 9th, and the Jackpot High 5 mandatory payout in race number 13 with 12 horses. And I can tell you that right now we're at 198,000 plus. We're probably going to be in the neighborhood of 2.25 if it doesn't go over the next couple. John, we're like under 10 minutes away from the final, the Little Brown Jug. So we know Lou Prink got the rail with Odds on Outlier next to him. See, James McDonald picked up a drive on no trespassing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, got the 5-hole.
So he won't be making his way back too early then?
No, not just yet. So should be good. Lou Print with that rail could be a lot of fun to enjoy. Here's the field for the Little Brown Jug right there. $500,000. Again, we talked about it. John Burke just on some kind of a heater. I don't know that he's ever not on a heater, but it just seems that everywhere you look right now in the big races, he's capturing them.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, big time.
And well represented this weekend here in our rich events. Could continue on, but he's going for that jug ad and jug sweep, and he's obviously got a huge shot at it.
And the last time he did it, was it Luce Perlman, and who was the filly that he got the job done with? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
No. Oh, Scarlett Hanover. That's right. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
I should know that. Ontario Sire,
Yeah.
Scarlett Hanover.
Yep. So
Yeah.
he's looking to do and he feels pretty confident, right? I mean, I've gotten a chance to listen to Ronnie, speak about his charges in the Jugette and the Jug over the last couple of days. And listen, he does a great job. But when you listen to him talk and kind of analyze races, analyze his stock, you know why he's one of the best that we have in the business.
Yeah, and how about for Ronnie Wren?
Yep.
To get a horse like this to drive over the last couple of years. I mean, he's had a great career as it is, but then now to get into these kind of big time spotlight type races and deal with the pressure and all that, it's been pretty cool to watch him conduct himself too.
You know what? If he does feel the pressure, you wouldn't even know it by his demeanor and body language. I mean, the guy seems pretty calm. He openly came out and said that he was not pleased with his drive in the Breeders' Crown elimination, but he really made the most of it, getting the job done from the outside in what was a loaded division last year in the Breeders' Crown final. I think that effort, Chad, really gave him the confidence with his colt that he could do just about anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so that's coming up. Watch and wager through HPIBet.com. We got you covered there. We've got 10 dashes coming your way in a few minutes. John's going to take you through his plays of the night as we get set for our Thursday night opener. Have a good one down there, buddy.
All right, appreciate it. You too. All right, my plays board here, we're going to see all-in Florida guy to kick things off here in this early pick 5. My worth a look, Annie's Diva, one that I think could be a bit of a price play in that last leg of that early pick 5. My maiden breaker to kick off the late pick 5 is going to be Lo and Behold. I think this guy, this filly is in a pretty good spot here to pick up win number 1. And my value play could be Queen. I think that's a wide open race number 8, but this is a filly I think is coming off a pretty tough trip. So one that I think that is going to be a live pickup for driver Doug McNair here this evening. We're going to look at some other resident handicappers and their plays this evening, as we always do. And Garnet Barnsdale, better double down. That's going to be his spot play this evening. Look, the filly's coming off a really sharp effort. She's going to be the one to beat in race number 2. Kevin Plaucha in agreement with me on Lo and Behold as his spot play. And Ghislaine Paquette going to Lavender Sealster, it should probably read. Lavender Sealster there in race number 8. And that's going to be his key in that late multi-leg sequence. So this is a pretty competitive and interesting 10-race program that we've got. Lots of grassroots action. And as I've mentioned numerous times, they're always competitive fields. It's going to result in some great wagering opportunities as well. So I found these sequences to be ultra tricky. So we're 3 minutes away from race number 1 here, but we've also got the Jug final that's going to be getting underway very shortly. Good luck.